Okay, so for this lesson, we are going to be working on finding the equation from a graph and table. We had previously seen how to find the equation from a situation, and we're going to apply that knowledge to finding the equation from a graph and table. Well, first of all, we're going to start at the beginning. What equation might they be talking about? Well, when we see that equation, we need to be thinking y equals mx plus b. Good job. So we know we're talking about y equals mx plus b. So I need to figure this out. Well, to figure that out, there are two different pieces, right? There is our m, and there is our b. Okay, so let's start with the m. What does the m stand for? Good job. That is our slope, and we're going to do that over here. So we need to find our slope. And that means that the b stands for what? Good job. That means that the b stands for our y-intercept. Okay. So let's start with the slope. There are a few different steps that we need to take. Okay, so let's go ahead and list those out. The first step we need to do is we need to find 2 points. Okay, once we have found 2 points, then you find the change in y. Then our last step is you find the change in x. So let's go ahead and follow this. So our slope, we need to find 2 points. If I look up and down, I'm looking for points that fall directly on this line. Well, looking, there's actually a bunch, right? There's one right here. And so when I'm looking to see if they line up, right, you have to pay attention to where your numbers are, right? Because even though this is a point, okay, that's halfway between, but then you're going to have to be dealing with like half points. You don't want to do that. So I see there's a 1 here. Okay, that lines up. So let's find another point that lines up to numbers on both parts. Cool, I see another one right here. So those are 2 good points. Okay, so we're done our first step. Now we're going to find the change in y. And it's important that we remember that the change in y goes up and down, right? So it's like, how far up and down are we going? Okay, if I look at this point, how far up and down am I going to get from this point to this point? Okay, we always go left to right. That's the other thing. Well, how far down did I go? That's my change in y. Well, we went down. You might be inclined to say 2. You might be inclined to say 2, but that's not true, because if we look at the numbers, you got to look at the numbers. How far down are you going from 20 down to 15? Good job. You're going down 5, and we're going to use a -5 because you're going down, right? So 20 minus 5 is 15. Okay. Now let's move on to our change in x. So change in x is going to be right to left. Okay. How far left and right am I going? Well, from here to here. How far did I go? And you might be inclined to say 2 again, but you need to pay attention. Okay, look at the numbers. So from here, we were at 1. We went here, we're at 2. So we actually only went over 1. Good job. Okay, now we're going to finally put these things together. So the other thing we need to remember our slope is our change in y over my change in x. Okay, so we can write this m equals, what was my change in y? -5, good job. What was my change in x? 1. So my slope is -5, because -5 over 1 is -5. Go ahead and see if you can find the slope of your example.